Alright guys, so we're going to be talking about Modern Warfare 2 Remastered, a bunch of new leaks that are actually coming out about this game. I want to go through within this video specifically more on the release dates and when we're going to be seeing this game actually released. I'll touch upon, when we can see some trailers and the teaser stuff, and then subsequently the actual release of the game, because it actually depends on a bunch of different factors. One, is this game going to be a standalone game that releases any day now, this month, next month, or, during the cycle of Black Ops 4, or is it going to be like Modern Warfare Remastered was back with Infinite Warfare, where it released as a bonus, so you had to get that bundle to get the game, and it came alongside the game. So first, let me show you guys up on screen why this is happening right now. Obviously, it was a year ago that we were talking about this Modern Warfare 2 information, but there actually has been something that occurred in March, which was that Modern Warfare 2 was actually listed again and rated. I'll show you guys up on screen. They took down the listing for MW2 shortly after it was listed. It had a brief appearance, a swift removal, and they're saying this, probably means it's on the way. At least this article here is saying it. And they're saying here, does it make sense that it would show up now? Activision used MW2 Remastered as a pack and incentive for 2016's Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, like we saw, and they released it for free and this and that. Okay, so it's more likely that a remastered MW2 would be a part of the next Call of Duty, with MW4 presumably as it's Infinity Ward's turn to take the series. And they're saying pretty self-explanatory stuff here, but the point of that is to tell you guys that it was recently listed back in March. You may have seen that news, and it was taken down, but they had a bunch of very interesting leaks alongside that. So it was actually listed a year ago, and we'll talk about that in a second, and they had some different release dates, and we're going to compare those release dates that were leaked last year with what we saw this year, and then obviously how MW4's sort of reveal cycle is going to impact that, because obviously we know MW4 is not going to be released anytime soon. It's going to be released end of October, beginning of November. That's when all Call of Duties are released. Black Ops 4 was a bit different. It was a month earlier. It was October 12th, I'm pretty sure. But this time around, we're pretty much seeing the same thing. It's not like we're going to see MW4 all of a sudden in the middle of the Black Ops 4 season, but MW2, that's a different situation. It's a different type of game. It's pretty volatile, and if it is campaign only, like a bunch of the leaks are saying, it doesn't necessarily maybe need to release alongside the Call of Duty. It could be, at least there's a reason right now, that since Black Ops 4 doesn't have a campaign, adding this MW2 Remastered campaign to the game during the Black Ops 4 season, sort of will make up for that, and won't necessarily take from Black Ops 4's, sort of, it'll just be filling the void for the lack of the campaign in the current game. So that is the situation right now with that game. Let me go through some more stuff here. This is what they said last year. So it was noted to have a February 28th release date. Obviously, that is not true because we're past February 28th. That's a different situation here. And then last year as well, with IGN Italy discovering an Amazon Italy listing for the PS4 and Xbox One editions of MW2 Remastered, which didn't actually mention campaign only, but it was listed at around 20 euros. So that's why people were assuming, okay, they're selling the campaign for 20 euros, or unless they're actually just remastering MW2 for a lot cheaper of a price. But who knows, maybe they, honestly, if multiplayer was included, if it was the full MW2 game remastered, they'd probably sell it for at least 40. And I think the the Modern Warfare Remastered was actually sold separately for 40 before it was free. So that's very interesting as well. But anyway, their release date was actually April 30th, 2018. Now, that's not a made-up release date. That's very important because that was something that they were officially gunning for last year. When that was listed, it was leaked. April 30th, 2018 was the date, and I think once we figured out, and if you guys remember the whole controversy last year, once we figured out that it probably is going to be, it's going to be campaign only, and they're not going to remaster the multiplayer, there was a huge backlash, and the thinking was that they just scrapped it and they said, you know what, let's not release it April 30th, 2018. Let's wait another year. Let's release it next year, and let's take this time to remaster multiplayer. And because obviously people were pretty much saying, like, we're not going to buy it. We don't just want the campaign. We want the multiplayer. A lot of people would love MW2 Remastered multiplayer, and the campaign's cool, but just remastering the campaign is not really enough. So obviously now we are a year later pretty much, and the game was listed again back in March, so it's still circulating, it's still going to happen. We just don't know right now what the actual deal is here. This video here, I don't want to focus too much on the multiplayer versus campaign side of things. I want to focus more on this game, whatever it is, how it's going to release, and when it's going to release. So we'll save that for a different video. As of now, let's just assume that it's probably just going to be the campaign only, because that's the evidence we have right now. But I still want to talk about the multiplayer side of things, obviously in a different video. So again, right now, the first release date, which was in February, not going to happen. We're past February. I don't know what the deal was with that. Here's the thing, it's hard to really tell you guys what is going on here, because this is a real thing. It's not like some rumor that's floating around. It's been listed several times. It's been, we've had very credible leaks confirming that this is a thing that's, they're preparing to release. It's just a matter of when and how and through what medium. So just to get it out of the way, it's going to happen for sure. But when exactly is going to happen? Do we go back to the April 30th release date? Are we seeing it again this year? If you look up on screen, April 30th this year, 2019, it actually lands on a Tuesday, so that sort of makes sense for a Call of Duty release. And if this is, we're assuming again that it's going to be separate to MW4, and we're assuming as well that MW4 is not, going to have this advertisement bundle where you get this $80 or $100 version like the Digital Deluxe Edition, and you get MW2 alongside MW4. What's also very interesting is that April 30th is one of the days that I talked about in my other video as a prime time to see one of the first official either teaser trailers or reveals of MW4, Modern Warfare 4. So these dates are really lining up pretty well with each other, and that would actually make a lot of sense to see this game revealed alongside MW4. So MW2 Remastered wouldn't release April 30th necessarily, but it would be revealed April 30th, and then alongside that, MW4 will be revealed as well. So it'll be like this huge thing. MW4, here's the trailer, and also, get the Digital Deluxe Edition, and you'll get MW2 Remastered campaign alongside that. Or we go back to the other one where they hype it up. So April 30th, Tuesday, we get the teaser trailer, and then let's say it's like something crazy where you pre-order MW4 and you could play MW2 Remastered. If you pre-order it, you get MW2 Remastered right now. You know what I mean? And it's available to play right now. That would just be so insane. That would increase the hype to so many new levels. Obviously, the problem with that is that means MW2 Remastered, it's not 40 bucks, it's not 20 bucks, it's almost free to some extent. You pretty much just have to put $5 down to pre-order the game to get it, or maybe you have to pre-order full price MW4 to have access to play MW2 Remastered on that day. However they do it, those are the two different possibilities there. But April 30th is a date that is very interesting, and it's lining up very well with these two different things. Now again, this is the date from last year, but it's still something important to look at because it does line up with a prime time to see MW4 stuff, and we do know MW2 Remastered and MW4 are both closely correlated with each other. So again, if not, what we could see is just a normal thing where we don't really get information on MW2 Remastered all the way until the end of the summer or early fall, and then they finally say, here's the Digital Deluxe Edition, because they don't usually release that stuff early on. They don't usually announce the information early on, and we'll just get the information later on. And it's just a normal thing where you get MW2 Remastered alongside MW4, and that's that. You just get the $100 version, and that's all it is really. So that'd be the boring outcome. I want some hype. I want something to really go down very soon. End of April, early May, some crazy stuff going down here. Obviously, there's still a lot to talk about. There are debates whether or not this is going to be campaign only or it'll have multiplayer added. There's also MW3 Remastered that's going to be, put into the mix here. Are we going to see MW4 alongside MW2 and MW3 Remastered? That is going to be pretty insane to see, because obviously they have MWR Remastered, just the first game, and you need the other two to have sort of, prerequisites, or, to give the players the information and the catch-up on the Modern Warfare series, sort of before MW4 releases, because MW4 maybe will wrap everything up or continue it in some new way. So that would be the reasoning for, remastering those next two games. But yeah, if they do that, we'll have to see. But right now, let's focus on MW2. So yeah, obviously, I would say any announcements for that would be very soon. this Tuesday, April 16th. We have the next Tuesday, April 23rd, and then the date, which I've been looking at for MW4 information, April 30th. That would be a pretty solid date to see some sort of at least announcement teaser or trailer, or maybe in some crazy world, if it's not going to be a bundle with MW4, a possible release of MW2 Remastered on April 30th, sort of like Apex Legends, where they announce it that day and they just drop it. So I think with Apex Legends now, it's very possible to see that happen, and we'll just have to see what they do. So that's pretty much it. I'll see you guys later.